Question 1. Liability insurance concepts. Which of the following statements about commercial general liability (CGL) insurance is true? A. CGL policies automatically cover all types of advertising injury without exclusions. B. Coverage B specifically excludes personal injury claims resulting from breach of contract. C. CGL policies provide coverage for bodily injury that occurs on the insured's premises only. D. Coverage includes liability for personal and advertising injury caused by the insured's products. Answer B. Explanation. Option A is incorrect because CGL policies contain specific exclusions for certain advertising injuries, such as those arising from intentional wrongdoing or from the failure to conform to the conditions of an advertisement. Option B is correct as coverage B of a CGL policy indeed excludes personal injury claims arising from breach of contract, which is a standard exclusion in most CGL policies. Option C is incorrect because CGL policies can provide coverage for bodily injury that occurs off the insured's premises as well, depending on the policy's terms. Option D is incorrect since coverage is specifically for bodily injury and property damage, whereas personal and advertising injury is addressed under coverage B. Question 2. Workers' compensation insurance. In the context of workers' compensation insurance, which of the following scenarios correctly illustrates the concept of an exclusive remedy? A. An employee who sustains an injury due to the employer's negligence can sue for damages beyond what workers' compensation provides. B. An employee is injured while participating in a company-sponsored event and cannot claim additional damages from the employer. C. An employee injured at work can file a claim against a third-party contractor responsible for the injury and still receive workers' compensation benefits. D. An employee who suffers a stress-related illness due to work conditions can sue the employer for emotional distress outside of the workers' compensation system. Answer B. Explanation. Option A is incorrect as the exclusive remedy provision of workers' compensation laws typically prevents an employee from suing their employer for negligence once they accept workers' compensation benefits. Option B is correct because this illustrates the principle of exclusive remedy, where the employee is limited to the benefits provided under the workers' compensation system despite the injury occurring during a company-sponsored event. Option C is incorrect because an employee can pursue a claim against a third-party contractor, which does not negate their eligibility for workers' compensation benefits. However, this does not illustrate exclusive remedy. Option D is incorrect as emotional distress claims typically fall outside the purview of workers' compensation and cannot be pursued alongside these benefits. Question 3. Scenario-based problem solving. Mr. Smith owns a small landscaping business and has a commercial general liability (CGL) policy. While working on a client's property, one of his employees accidentally damages the client's fence while operating a lawnmower. The client is now seeking compensation for the damages. What should Mr. Smith do in this situation? A. Deny the client's claim since the damage occurred on private property. B. File a claim with his CGL insurer for the property damage caused by his employee. C. Personally negotiate a settlement with the client to avoid involving the insurer. D. Suggest that the client file a claim with their own insurance since it happened on their property. Answer B. Explanation. Option A is incorrect because denying the client's claim is not appropriate as the CGL policy covers property damage caused by the insured's operations, regardless of the location of the incident. Option B is correct as Mr. Smith should file a claim with his CGL insurer, which is designed to handle property damage caused by business operations, including damages caused by employees while performing their duties. Option C is incorrect since negotiating a settlement personally might lead to complications and could interfere with the terms of the insurance policy. Engaging with the insurer is a better route. Option D is incorrect because suggesting the client to file a claim with their insurance does not relieve Mr. Smith of his liability. The proper course of action is for him to utilize his CGL coverage for the damages caused. Question 4. Property damage liability. Which of the following scenarios would likely not be covered under commercial general liability (CGL) policies? Property damage coverage. A. Damage caused to a client's property while performing maintenance work. B. Intentional damage inflicted by an employee during a dispute with a client. C. Damage to property that the insured leases or rents. D. Accidental damage to a neighbor's fence while operating equipment on the insured's property. Answer B. Explanation. Option A is incorrect because damage caused to a client's property while performing maintenance is typically covered under a CGL policy as it relates to the insured's operations. Option B is correct, as intentional damage caused by an employee during a dispute would not be covered under a CGL policy since liability insurance does not cover intentional acts. Option C is incorrect because damage to property the insured leases or rents is usually excluded unless a specific endorsement is added to the policy. Option D is incorrect because accidental damage to a neighbor's fence while operating equipment on the insured's property would generally be covered under the CGL property damage provisions. Question 5. Regulatory environment. Which of the following best describes the role of the Wisconsin Department of Insurance? A. It solely approves insurance policy forms and sets premium rates for all insurance companies in Wisconsin. B. It enforces compliance with state insurance laws and regulations, ensuring consumer protection and market integrity. C. It provides insurance coverage directly to consumers, acting as a state insurance provider. D. It solely handles disputes between insurance companies and consumers regarding policy interpretations. Answer. B. Explanation. Option A is incorrect because while the Department of Insurance reviews forms and rates, it does not set all premium rates or solely approve forms. Option B is correct, as the Wisconsin Department of Insurance plays a critical role in enforcing compliance with insurance laws and regulations, focusing on consumer protection and maintaining market integrity. Option C is incorrect because the department does not provide insurance coverage. It regulates the industry and oversees private insurers. Option D is incorrect because while it may address disputes, it is not solely responsible for handling these issues, as the department's role encompasses broader regulatory functions. Question 6. Workers' compensation claims process. In a workers' compensation claim, which of the following actions is not the responsibility of the employer? A. Reporting the injury to the workers' compensation insurance carrier promptly. B. Investigating the cause of the injury and implementing safety measures to prevent future incidents. C. Paying the employee directly for lost wages while the claim is being processed. D. Providing the injured employee with information about their rights and benefits under workers' compensation. Answer. C. Explanation. Option A is incorrect, as the employer is required to report the injury to their workers' compensation carrier in a timely manner to ensure the employee receives benefits. Option B is incorrect because investigating the cause of injury and improving safety protocols is part of an employer's responsibility to maintain a safe workplace. Option C is correct, as employers are not required to pay employees directly for lost wages, and instead, benefits are administered through the workers' compensation insurance system. Option D is incorrect because it is indeed the employer's responsibility to inform the injured employee of their rights and the benefits available to them under workers' compensation. Question 7. Liability insurance types. Which statement accurately describes the difference between an occurrence policy and a claims-made policy in liability insurance? A. An occurrence policy only covers claims made during the policy term, while a claims-made policy covers any claims arising from incidents that occurred during the policy term. B. An occurrence policy covers incidents that occur during the policy period, regardless of when the claim is made, whereas a claims-made policy covers claims only if both the incident and the claim occur during the policy term. C. An occurrence policy is typically more expensive than a claims-made policy because it offers broader coverage. D. A claims-made policy covers claims regardless of when the incident occurred, as long as the claim is filed during the policy period. Answer. B. Explanation. Option A is incorrect, as it inaccurately describes the coverage of each type of policy. Option B is correct, as an occurrence policy provides coverage for incidents occurring during the policy period, regardless of when a claim is made, whereas a claims-made policy requires that both the incident and the claim occur during the policy period for coverage to apply. Option C is partially true, but not definitive, as pricing varies based on various factors, not just policy type. Option D is incorrect because a claims-made policy requires that the incident occurred during the policy period for it to be covered, not just the timing of the claim. Question 8. Indemnity principle. Which of the following statements best illustrates the indemnity principle in insurance? A. An insured can receive more money in claims than the actual value of their lost property. B. An insured is compensated for a covered loss only to the extent of their financial loss, not exceeding the insured value. C. An insured can claim for damages on multiple policies for the same loss event to maximize their compensation. D. An insured must submit a claim within a specified time frame to be eligible for benefits under their policy. Answer. B. Explanation. Option A is incorrect because the indemnity principle states that an insurer cannot profit from insurance but can only be compensated for the actual loss incurred. Option B is correct as the indemnity principle ensures that the insured is compensated only for their financial loss, which means the compensation does not exceed the actual cash value or the insured amount of the lost property. Option C is incorrect since claiming on multiple policies for the same loss event is generally considered insurance fraud and violates the principle of indemnity. Option D, while true, does not pertain to the indemnity principle specifically. It relates to policy conditions rather than indemnity. Question 9. Emerging trends in casualty insurance. Which of the following trends is currently impacting the casualty insurance market the most? A. Decreased regulatory scrutiny over insurance rates and forms. B. Increased adoption of data analytics and artificial intelligence in underwriting and claims processing. C. A significant rise in traditional brick-and-mortar insurance companies. D. Reduction in the use of digital marketing strategies for customer acquisition. Answer. B. Explanation. Option A is incorrect because there has been an increase in regulatory scrutiny to ensure consumer protection and market stability. Option B is correct as the use of data analytics and artificial intelligence is revolutionizing underwriting and claims processing, enabling insurers to make more informed decisions and improve operational efficiency. Option C is incorrect since many insurers are moving towards digital solutions and online platforms rather than increasing traditional operations. Option D is incorrect as the use of digital marketing strategies has significantly increased as insurers seek to engage customers in the digital age. Question 10. Critical thinking in insurance. When evaluating insurance needs for a small business, which of the following factors should not be the primary focus of the assessment? A. The nature of the business operations and associated risks. B. The financial history and credit rating of the owner. C. The adequacy of existing coverage and potential gaps. D. The size of the business in terms of employee count and revenue. Answer. B. Explanation. Option A is incorrect as understanding the business operations and associated risks is crucial in determining the appropriate coverage. Option B is correct because while the financial history and credit rating of the owner may impact the business's ability to obtain insurance, they should not be the primary focus when assessing insurance needs. Option C is incorrect since identifying coverage gaps is a fundamental part of evaluating insurance needs to ensure adequate protection. Option D is incorrect as the size of the business can affect the types of risks it faces and the coverage required. Question 11. Personal liability coverage. Which of the following is typically covered under a personal liability insurance policy? A. Bodily injury to the insured caused by a guest. B. Damage to a neighbor's property caused by the insured's dog. C. Injuries sustained by the insured while participating in a recreational activity. D. Medical expenses incurred by the insured's family member due to a home accident. Answer. B. Explanation. Option is incorrect because personal liability coverage does not cover injuries to the insured, it only covers injuries to others for which the insured is legally responsible. Option B is correct as personal liability insurance typically covers damages caused by the insured's pet, such as for dog biting a neighbor. Option C is incorrect since personal liability policies do not cover injuries to the insured, and this would be addressed by other types of coverage. Option D is incorrect because personal liability coverage does not extend to medical expenses incurred by family members, and this would generally be covered by health insurance. Question 12. Business interruption insurance. What is the primary purpose of business interruption insurance? A. To cover the costs of repairing damaged property. B. To provide income replacement when a business is unable to operate due to a covered loss. C. To protect against theft of business equipment. D. To reimburse for legal expenses incurred during a lawsuit. Answer. B. Explanation. Option A is incorrect as business interruption insurance does not cover property repair. It focuses on income replacement during the interruption. Option B is correct because business interruption insurance is designed to provide financial compensation for lost income due to an inability to conduct business following a covered event like a fire or natural disaster. Option C is incorrect since theft of equipment would be covered under property insurance, not business interruption. Option D is incorrect because legal expenses are typically covered under a different type of liability insurance, not business interruption. Question 13. Exclusions in insurance policies. Which of the following is a common exclusion found in many property insurance policies? A. Damage caused by fire. B. Wear and tear due to normal use. C. Theft of personal property. D. Damage from vandalism. Answer B. Explanation. Option A is incorrect because damage caused by fire is usually covered unless specifically excluded. Option B is correct as wear and tear is a common exclusion in property insurance policies because it is considered a result of normal use rather than a sudden or accidental loss. Option C is incorrect as theft of personal property is generally covered, though certain limitations may apply. Option D is incorrect because damage from vandalism is usually covered under standard property policies. Question 14. Underwriting principles. Which of the following factors is most significant in the underwriting process for a personal auto insurance policy? A. The color of the vehicle. B. The credit history of the applicant. C. The previous insurance coverage of the applicant. D. The geographical location where the vehicle is primarily used. Answer D. Explanation. Option A is incorrect as the color of the vehicle does not typically impact underwriting decisions. Option B is partially significant, but credit history is one of many factors considered. It is not the most critical factor. Option C is important but does not outweigh the influence of geographical location on risk assessment. Option D is correct because geographical location is crucial in determining risk due to factors like theft rates, accident frequency, and local traffic conditions. Question 15. Umbrella insurance. What is the primary purpose of an umbrella insurance policy? A. To cover only property damage claims that exceed standard policy limits. B. To provide additional liability coverage above and beyond existing insurance policies. C. To cover the legal expenses of defending against lawsuits. D. To replace lost or stolen personal property. Answer B. Explanation. Option A is incorrect as umbrella insurance is not limited to property damage. It provides broad liability coverage. Option B is correct because the primary purpose of an umbrella policy is to provide extra liability coverage beyond the limits of other insurance policies, such as homeowners or auto insurance. Option C is partially correct but does not capture the full extent of what umbrella insurance covers. It can cover legal expenses, but that's only one part of its broader liability coverage. Option D is incorrect as umbrella insurance does not cover lost or stolen property that would be addressed by other types of insurance. Question 16. Coverage limits. In liability insurance, what does the term aggregate limit refer to? A. The maximum amount the insurer will pay for a single claim. B. The total amount the insurer will pay for all claims during a policy period. C. The minimum amount the insured must pay before coverage kicks in. D. The amount of deductible the insured must pay for each claim. Answer B. Explanation. Option A is incorrect because that refers to the per occurrence limit, not the aggregate limit. Option B is correct as the aggregate limit is the maximum amount an insurer will pay for all claims during a policy period, regardless of the number of claims. Option C is incorrect as that pertains to deductibles rather than coverage limits. Option D is incorrect since deductibles apply per claim and are not related to the aggregate limit. Question 17. Workers' compensation coverage. Which of the following is typically excluded from workers' compensation coverage? A. Injuries sustained while an employee is commuting to work. B. Illness is contracted due to exposure to hazardous materials at work. C. Injuries occurring during a company-sponsored event. D. Accidents occurring while performing job duties as directed by the employer. Answer A. Explanation. Option A is correct because injuries sustained during commuting are generally not covered under workers' compensation. Coverage typically applies only while the employee is on the job. Option B is incorrect as illnesses contracted due to workplace exposure are typically covered. Option C is incorrect because injuries during a company-sponsored event are generally covered if they occur during work-related activities. Option D is incorrect since injuries while performing job duties are covered. Question 18. General liability insurance. Which of the following scenarios would likely be covered under a commercial general liability CGL policy? A. A customer slips and falls on a wet floor in the insured store. B. An employee damages a client's property while delivering goods. C. The insured's vehicle causes an accident while making a delivery. D. The insured's business loses income due to a flood. Answer A. Explanation. Option A is correct as a customer slipping and falling on a wet floor in a store is typically covered under a CGL policy as it relates to bodily injury liability. Option B is incorrect since damage to a client's property while delivering goods is generally covered by a commercial auto or specific liability policy, not a CGL. Option C is incorrect as commercial auto insurance would typically cover vehicle-related accidents, not CGL. Option D is incorrect because loss of income due to a flood would require business interruption insurance, not CGL. Question 19. Risk management. Which of the following is not a risk management strategy? A. Risk avoidance. B. Risk retention. C. Risk elimination. D. Risk increase. Answer D. Explanation. Option A is incorrect as risk avoidance involves eliminating activities that could lead to a loss. Option B is incorrect because risk retention means accepting the risk when the cost of the risk is less than potential loss. Option C is incorrect since risk elimination refers to strategies to eliminate exposure to risk entirely. Option D is correct as risk increase is not a recognized risk management strategy. Effective risk management seeks to minimize or manage risk rather than increase it. Question 20. Ethical considerations in insurance. Which of the following actions would likely be considered an unethical practice in the insurance industry? A. Providing accurate and honest information during the underwriting process. B. Failing to disclose a material fact during the application process. C. Advising a client on the most appropriate coverage for their needs. D. Ensuring all claims are processed fairly and in a timely manner. Answer B. Explanation. Option is incorrect as providing accurate and honest information is ethical and required in the underwriting process. Option B is correct because failing to disclose material facts during the application process can be considered fraudulent and unethical, potentially leading to denied claims or policy rescissions. Option C is incorrect since advising clients on appropriate coverage is a standard ethical practice. Option D is incorrect because processing claims fairly and promptly is an ethical obligation of insurers. Question 21. Property insurance coverage. Which of the following is covered under a standard homeowner's insurance policy? A. Damage from an earthquake. B. Damage from a flood. C. Damage to personal property caused by a fire. D. Damage to personal property caused by wear and tear. Answer C. Explanation. Option A is incorrect as earthquake damage typically requires a separate policy or endorsement. Option B is incorrect because flood damage is not covered under standard homeowners policies and usually requires separate flood insurance. Option C is correct since a standard homeowners insurance policy covers damage to personal property caused by fire. Option D is incorrect as damage due to wear and tear is considered maintenance and is not covered. Question 22. Insurance adjuster duties. What is the primary responsibility of an insurance adjuster? A. To provide legal advice to policyholders. B. To determine the validity and amount of claims made by insureds. C. To sell insurance policies to customers. D. To manage the marketing strategies of the insurance company. Answer B. Explanation. Option A is incorrect because insurance adjusters do not provide legal advice as they assess claims. Option B is correct as the primary responsibility of an insurance adjuster is to investigate and determine the validity and amount of claims. Option C is incorrect since selling insurance policies is the responsibility of agents, not adjusters. Option D is incorrect as managing marketing strategies falls under different roles within the company. Question 23. Coverage forms. What type of policy provides coverage for all perils except those specifically excluded? A. Named peril policy. B. Special form policy. C. Basic form policy. D. Broad form policy. Answer B. Explanation. Option is incorrect as a named peril policy covers only those perils specifically listed in the policy. Option B is correct because a special form policy, also known as an all-risk policy, covers all perils except those specifically excluded. Option C is incorrect since a basic form policy covers a limited number of perils and is not comprehensive. Option D is incorrect because a broad form policy covers a wider range of perils than a basic policy but still operates under a named perils basis. Question 24. Liability coverage. Which of the following would typically be covered by a business owner's policy? A. Cyber liability. B. Professional errors and omissions. C. Business property and liability. D. Workers' compensation claims. Answer C. Explanation. Option A is incorrect as cyber liability is generally not included in a BOP and requires separate coverage. Option B is incorrect because professional errors and omissions coverage is typically not included in a standard BOP. Option C is correct as a BOP provides coverage for both business property and liability, offering a package of essential coverages for small to medium-sized businesses. Option D is incorrect since workers' compensation is a separate policy and not included in a BOP. Question 25. Health insurance. Which of the following best describes a pre-existing condition in health insurance? A. An illness or injury that occurs after the policy is purchased. B. A medical condition that existed before the insurance coverage began. C. A condition that is only temporary and does not require ongoing treatment. D. A health issue that is covered immediately upon policy issuance. Answer: B. Explanation. Option A is incorrect, as a pre-existing condition specifically refers to illnesses or injuries that existed before coverage. Option B is correct because a pre-existing condition is defined as any medical condition that the insured had prior to obtaining health insurance coverage. Option C is incorrect, since pre-existing conditions can be chronic or require ongoing treatment. Option D is incorrect, as pre-existing conditions typically have waiting periods or exclusions in health insurance policies. Question 26. Underinsurance. What is the risk of being underinsured? A. Paying lower premiums than necessary. B. Suffering a financial loss greater than the policy limits. C. Being unable to obtain additional coverage. D. All of the above. Answer: D. Explanation. Option A is correct, as underinsurance often results in low premiums. Option B is correct because being underinsured can lead to significant financial losses if a claim exceeds policy limits. Option C is correct, since underinsured individuals may find it difficult to obtain additional coverage or may pay higher premiums for it. Option D is correct, as all listed options represent risks associated with underinsurance. Question 27. Exclusions in liability insurance. Which of the following is generally excluded from liability insurance coverage? A. Intentional acts of harm. B. Injuries caused by negligent actions. C. Injuries sustained on the insured's property. D. Bodily injury to a third party. Answer A. Explanation. Option A is correct, as intentional acts of harm are typically excluded from liability insurance coverage. Policies only cover unintentional acts. Option B is incorrect, since negligent actions are covered under liability insurance. Option C is incorrect because injuries sustained on the insured's property are usually covered unless otherwise excluded. Option D is incorrect, as bodily injury to a third party is the primary purpose of liability coverage. Question 28. Business risk. What is risk retention in a business context? A. Avoiding any activities that could lead to potential losses. B. Transferring risk to another party through insurance. C. Accepting the financial consequences of a risk when it occurs. D. Increasing the amount of insurance coverage to cover potential losses. Answer: C. Explanation. Option A is incorrect, as risk avoidance means eliminating exposure to risk rather than retaining it. Option B is incorrect because transferring risk refers to passing the risk to another entity through insurance, not retaining it. Option C is correct, as risk retention involves accepting the financial consequences of risks that cannot be avoided or transferred. Option D is incorrect, since increasing insurance coverage relates to risk transfer, not retention. Question 29. Premium calculation. What is the primary factor used to determine the premium for an auto insurance policy? A. The color of the vehicle. B. The driver's credit score. C. The vehicle's safety rating. D. The geographic area where the vehicle is garaged. Answer: D. Explanation. Option A is incorrect, as the color of the vehicle does not impact premium calculations. Option B is incorrect because while credit scores can influence premiums, they are not the primary factor. Option C is incorrect, as the safety rating of a vehicle may be considered, but geographic location has a more significant impact. Option D is correct, since the geographic area where the vehicle is garaged affects risk factors such as theft rates, accident frequency, and local laws, making it a primary factor in premium determination. Question 30. Claims handling. What is the purpose of a claims adjuster during the claims process? A. To deny all claims to protect the insurer's interests. B. To investigate claims and assess damages to determine compensation. C. To provide customer service and answer policyholders' questions. D. To sell additional policies to the insured. Answer: B. Explanation. Option A is incorrect, as denying all claims is not a legitimate or ethical practice for claims adjusters. Option B is correct because the primary role of a claims adjuster is to investigate claims, assess the extent of damages, and determine appropriate compensation based on the policy terms. Option C is partially correct but does not capture the primary function of a claims adjuster. Option D is incorrect, since selling policies is not part of a claims adjuster's responsibilities, and their focus is on claims management.